Today I wanted to go over the Paris Prime Incarnon. I've seen a lot of videos about people talking about it. They always rank it fairly low in comparison to other Incarnon weapons, and I thought that wasn't very fair. Now, most people tend to compare it to the Nataruk, or obviously the Dread Incarnon, since the Dread is literally just Paris Incarnon, but in my opinion, downgrade. So first we're going to show off the Nataruk. Now, I know some people won't have longbow sharp shot, but it is such a must-have to make bows really viable against high-level enemies. Though if you don't have it, the next best thing would probably be primary deadhead if you're going to be able to one-shot them to the head. But if you're killing with slash, then you're just going to have to go through merciless or dexterity if you got a good melee. So this is the build I have going on. Your typical viral slash galvanized aptitude is very important here because it is multiplicative on the Nataruk. Then amalgam serration just for some flat damage, since we don't actually have any flat damage without it, because longbow sharp shot is also multiplicative. And amalgam version just because you got extra sprint speed. In this case, you don't really need it. You can just go normal serration. I don't have mine maxed out. I sold it for endo. But here we can test it out. Now, it's not bad by any means. It's definitely going to take a bit of kills to build up the galvanized shot. But once you get it going, assuming you get slash procs, it's going to be able to kill most of the time. Now, the galvanized mod being multiplicative is only on perfect shot and charge shots. So your quick shot isn't going to be able to get the kill. But one of the big parts about the Nataruk is that's infinite body punch through. So if I shoot this guy right here, it's going to hit all those guys in the back. Not really, because I hit from the head, but like if I aim the body right here, you can see it tagged all of them. Killed the whole group in one shot. So it's pretty good for groups, assuming they're all lined up. It has a fairly large arrow, as you can see. It's pretty big. But it's just not what we're looking for. Not when we can have much better options. So the Paris Incarnon is much better in my opinion. It has multiplicative gun CO just like the Nataruk, so you're not losing any damage out of that. Then first we're going to look at the evolutions though. It has the normal, obviously that puts it into Incarnon mode, the first one. Then the second one, this is a big one. Increased damage by 20 and another plus 74 if you have overshields. That's okay. I mean, it's not incredible since you're not going to consistently have overshields on most frames. Or deadly pace, 80% fire rate with sprint speed of 1.2 or higher and plus 20 damage. That fire rate helps a lot. Most bows you're going to want some form of fire rate, especially because it is double as effective on bows specifically. I'm pretty sure it still labels that on all mods that increase fire rate. Yeah, 90% fire rate times 2 on bows for vital acceleration. Now, you have to have 1.2 sprint speed or higher, but that is easily fixed with amalgam serration. You can get this from thermia fractures. I believe it's like for 50, 75, something like that. They'll show up usually like once a month, so it's not that hard to get. You just got to get it when it comes out. 25% sprint speed is enough to push us to 1.2 on any frame in the game that has at least a 0.95. That's just about every single frame in the game. I can't even think of any frame off the top of my head that has lower than that. Maybe Frost? No, Frost has a 0.95. As long as they have 0.95 or higher, it's going to push them to 1.2. So you are always... Oh, wait, here we go. Atlas. In his case, you are probably going to have to get a bit more sprint speed on him. I don't know about Atlas Prime? Oh no, the Prime version has one, so in that case, you don't have to worry about it. So just about every frame in the game, you're always going to be able to have the bonus fire rate if you have amalgam serration on. And since you want longbow sharp shot ideally, and galvanized aptitude is multiplicative, you need flat damage anyways, so you're not really losing anything. So that is just Very nice time. It's just saving you an entire mod slot right there. Next one is projectile speed, negative zoom, or even more fire rate on punch through hits. I honestly don't think you need the extra fire rate with the 80% already. And negative zooms, that's fine if that's what you care for. I mean, here it is with the negative zoom. It does make it easier to hit enemies directly in front of you. But I honestly prefer to have the base zoom because it's just easier to hit stuff, especially when you go with projectile velocity instead. You can see there's really not that much of a difference. And having your arrows fly faster is just such a nice quality of life. Then there's the fourth column. This one is, there's really only one good option, to be honest. The middle one increases status chance by 60%, which is base. So it goes from 20 to 80% base status. That is massive. The other options are on hit, increase damage by plus 15 for 3 seconds, and it stacks up to 4 times. That's okay, I guess. It's base damage, so that's nice, but it already has decent base damage, and so this isn't going to be that big of a damage increase, especially when you have a ton of status effects instead. Or you get 40% crit chance in an extra 2.0 crit multiplier, again, base stats on undamaged enemies. The problem with this is very rarely are you going to be hitting an undamaged enemy. Like, if your pet damages it, it doesn't work. If your teammates damage it, it doesn't work. If there's an environmental thing that goes off and it damages them, it doesn't work. So, literally anything, even breathing on them, and this isn't going to be able to proc. If you're in solo and you're using something like Carrier Prime, I guess it might be nice, but honestly, I think Elemental Balance is the much better option. Especially once we get into the mods. Now, something you might notice is the Exilus slot has a very unique mod. It is specific to the Paris Prime, Visage Ball. Restore 300 health for every 3 status effects, and it gives plus 90% status chance. The 90% status chance is huge, because normally you don't get any sort of damage increasing effects from your Exilus slot. That's not a thing. So to be able to get that from our Exilus, that is incredible, especially since our base is 80%. So by adding on the Visage Ball, that already brings it up without any other mods to 152. That's insane. Plus, the healing can be nice if you're on a frame that could use the healing, or like a frame using combat discipline and you need a way to gain health. So this can be acquired if you are rank 4 or higher. It can be bought from the father in the Necrolisk on Deimos for 25k standing, I believe, or it can be bought from players. I bought it from a player for like 30 plat. I don't know how much it normally goes for, but it's not very expensive. Other than that, it's the exact same build as the Nataruk was. There's literally no difference. All the same mods. It's got multiplicative Gunzio, just like Nataruk. Obviously, like I said before, in this case, Amalgam Serration does matter to always get the extra fire rate, because the base charge is pretty bad. Now, something that you don't have to do, unlike the Nataruk if you want all damage, is there is no perfect shot. You don't have to stress your brain out trying to get it. Because that's something that honestly pissed me off. I'm a Warframe player. I don't have enough brain cells to get a perfect shot all the time. Trying to deal with like 5,000 enemies at once. So right off the bat, without any sort of buffs, alright, assuming we get a slash proc, it's already doing way more damage than that was. I can one-shot him just barely that with how many slash procs I had. Now, obviously, if you don't get a slash proc, you're pretty much fucked. Holy shit, that dude, damn, RNG was not nice there. But this is just the normal form. You see, that was one slash proc after stacking up galvanized aptitude. One slash proc. That was to absolutely decimated him. And this is not even the Incarnon form. Wow, that guy got ragdolled into hell. This is a lot of damage. Now, the normal form doesn't have the benefit of infinite body punch through, but we're not going to be staying in the normal form. So once you charge it up, which, here, let me reset it real quick. This thing charges so fast. 1, 2, bam, easy. Already have the Incarnon charge. If you have a Riven with multi-shot, which I'll show later, you only need one headshot. One headshot, and all of the Incarnon charges up in one shot. That gives you very high uptime on this thing. Makes it a lot easier than some of the other Incarnon weapons to keep in the Incarnon form. I'm gonna reset the enemies real quick before we show it off. So the Incarnon form, first of all, you lose your headshot multiplier. Headshots do not do any bonus damage. But you're still going to want to go for them if you're using a longbow sharp shot. That way you get that ×4 damage multiplier. And you also get infinite body punch through, just like the Nataruk. But unlike the Nataruk, this thing is a fat, and I mean fat wave. Look at this. Absolutely massive. And anywhere in that wave is going to be able to count as a headshot. So I don't have longbow sharp shot proc right now. I can just aim right in the center of these guys as I miss. See that? Right at the top right. Right here. Longbow sharp shot. There's the damage multiplier from it. This thing is so easy to get headshots with. And it does some big, big damage. As you will see. It can easily decimate these guys. I'm going to have to build my stacks back up with everything. But 3 of those enemies, 2 or 3 just died from heat procs, not even slash procs. That's pretty great considering they have a ton of armor. So these are level 175 Steel Path Corrupted Heavy Gunners. It does quite a lot of damage. So if you get a headshot first and you don't need your next shot to have longbow, you can just aim at the body since there's no headshot multiplier. And look at that. That just immediately destroyed all of them except the first one, who then burns out to the heat proc. If they don't die immediately, they'll likely die to a slash or heat proc. Now, sometimes you'll get unlucky with the procs and they'll survive, but in my experience, most of the time, they're going to get decimated. It is very good. The 20 shots in the Incarnon form for a bow is pretty good. It lasts quite a while, the Inno does. And it just does way more damage than the Nataruk, or at least in my opinion it does. It seems like it does. It's easier to hit your shots with. If you aren't using a longbow sharp shot, headshots don't even matter. You get the bonus healing from Visage Ball if you're using it. It can apply a ton of status effects for even more damage from Galvanized Aptitude. Then if you were to put on a Riven, like the one I have here, increased recoil because that doesn't affect a bow, multi-shot, fire rate, and cold. The cold is nice because then I can just replace rhyme rounds while still having viral. The fire rate's not necessary. The main thing we care about here is the multi-shot. So that's going to make it so I can get the Incarnon form charged in one shot, not right away without Galvanized Chamber built up. I don't think that's going to happen. Yeah, no. But Galvanized Chamber's built up, you're going to be able to get all of your Incarnon charge in a single headshot. And even better than that is that multi-shot will increase, obviously, damage, but because there's more shots going out, the chance of you proccing Slash from Hunter Munu is a lot higher. So you'll be able to consistently kill enemies a lot easier. So now that we have Galvanized Chamber built up, we can get rid of the Incarnon. And as you can see, literally one shot. Oh, and he also got totally destroyed. One shot and you can charge up the entire Incarnon bar. That is so nice. And you're going to be able to do some big damage with a Riven as well. Like, this thing just, it destroys. It's also quite satisfying. I don't know if my sound is working right now, but this thing, it sounds glorious. And seeing the big energy thing just shoot out, oh my goodness. Fantastic. And a big advantage this has over the Nataruk is Rivens. Rivens are so much better. 5 Riven disposition. The Nataruk has a 1 disposition. Nataruk Rivens also tend to sell for more. This Riven, I bought it unrolled. It came with the stats it has unrolled. I rolled 9 times and nothing came out better. And I only paid like 80 plat for it. I bought several other Paris Rivens. This one I bought unrolled for 40 plats, and then it also ended up being terrible, but my Riven RNG is awful. Like, Paris Rivens are not expensive. They're so cheap. They have super good stats from a high Riven disposition, so you can make this thing do a lot of damage. And it's very capable of killing any enemy in the game, even up to level cap. That is going to be able to take any sort of decent amount of damage from status procs. It's not amazing against Thrax and Void Cascade, but a lot of status-specific weapons, like weapons that deal damage through status types, slash and heat and stuff like that, aren't that great flat damage is usually a lot better. But I just think Paris is criminally underrated. It's a much better weapon than people make it out to be. It's super easy to use. It does massive damage, has cheap ribbons, extremely effective ribbons, multiplicative gun CO, an amazing augment for the Xless slot. It is a very, very good weapon. Um, yeah, that's about it. I want hopefully people to start using this more. It's one of my favorite weapons. I used it for a long time, way before the Incarnon came out. And I think it's just extremely underrated. Thanks for watching, I guess.